The old Willow Creek Asylum stood like a decaying monument to forgotten souls, its crumbling walls draped in a veil of ivy, a silent witness to years of despair. The moon hung low in the sky, casting an eerie glow that illuminated the jagged edges of broken windows and the rusted gates that creaked ominously in the wind. For Alex, the night security guard, this place was just another shift, another paycheck. But as he drove up the long, winding road leading to the asylum, a sense of unease settled over him like a cold blanket. He parked his vehicle near the entrance, its headlights slicing through the darkness like a knife. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and mildew, an unsettling reminder of the many secrets hidden within those walls. Alex took a deep breath, steeling himself for another long night of watching over a building that had seen better days. Little did he know that tonight would be different. As he stepped out of his car, the silence was almost deafening. It felt as if the world had paused, holding its breath in anticipation. He grabbed his flashlight from the passenger seat and made his way toward the entrance, each step echoing on the cracked pavement. The heavy door creaked open with an unsettling groan, revealing a dark corridor lined with peeling wallpaper and broken furniture scattered like forgotten memories. Alex flicked on his flashlight, its beam cutting through the darkness. Shadows danced along the walls, twisting into grotesque shapes that played tricks on his mind. He chuckled nervously to himself, trying to shake off the creeping sensation that he was being watched. "Just old ghosts," he muttered under his breath, though he couldn't ignore the shiver that ran down his spine. As he settled into his post at the front desk, he glanced at the security monitors displaying various angles of the asylum's interior. Most were static images of empty halls and abandoned rooms, but one camera caught his attention, a flicker in room 217. He leaned closer to the screen, squinting as if trying to will clarity into the grainy footage. It was brief, just a shadow darting across the frame, but it sent a jolt through him. Determined to brush it off as a trick of light or perhaps a small animal scurrying about, Alex resumed his vigil. Hours ticked by slowly. Each minute felt like an eternity as he fought against fatigue. Just as he began to lose himself in thoughts of home and warmth, a sound broke through the silence, a soft whisper echoing from somewhere deep within the asylum's bowels. His heart raced as he strained to listen. It was faint but distinct, a voice calling out for help or perhaps warning him away. A chill gripped him as he realized it wasn't just in his head, it was real. The sound seemed to weave through the walls like smoke, wrapping around him until he felt ensnared by its haunting melody. Compelled by an inexplicable urge to investigate, Alex grabbed his flashlight once more and stepped out from behind the desk. Each step toward room 217 felt like walking deeper into a trap set by unseen hands. The air grew colder with every inch he ventured. It carried whispers of despair that tugged at his sanity. When he reached room 217, something primal within him screamed to turn back. But curiosity outweighed fear as he pushed open the door with trembling hands. The hinges protested loudly, cutting through the stillness and amplifying his dread. Inside lay darkness, thick and suffocating, where shadows loomed larger than life. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from somewhere behind him in the hallway, a sound so jarring it sent him stumbling backward into the room. Heart pounding in his chest like a war drum, Alex turned back toward the entrance but found it shrouded in darkness. His breath quickened. Panic clawed at his throat as he realized he was no longer alone. Something moved in that darkness, a figure shifting just beyond reach, its presence heavy and foreboding. The air crackled with tension as Alex raised his flashlight, its beam slicing through shadows but revealing nothing tangible. Yet he could feel it, the weight of malevolence pressing down on him. As adrenaline surged through him, Alex knew one thing: there would be no turning back now. Whatever secrets lay hidden within these walls were awakening, and they had found their new audience. With his pulse racing and dread pooling in his gut, Alex prepared himself for what lay ahead. The night had only just begun, and already it promised horrors beyond imagination. The air in the asylum felt heavier than before, pressing down on Alex like a suffocating blanket. With the dusty journal clutched tightly in his hands, he could barely focus as he read the frantic scrawls of a former patient. Each entry unveiled a layer of horror that seeped into his very bones, tales of torment, experiments that blurred the line between sanity and madness. The shadows around him seemed to pulse with life, drawing closer as he pieced together the asylum's ghastly history. As he read about the whispers that haunted the patients, Alex felt a chill crawl up his spine. The tale spoke of a dark entity lurking within these walls, feeding off despair and pain. He could almost hear those whispers now, echoing through the halls as if they were aware of his intrusion. Suddenly, the sensation of being watched intensified, sending his heart racing. The shadows morphed into sinister shapes as Alex decided he had to explore further. He ventured down a narrow corridor, each step resonating through the hollow space like a drumbeat of dread. The flickering lights overhead cast eerie shadows that danced mockingly around him. Just when he thought he was alone, a noise erupted behind him, a faint rustling that sent him sprinting forward. A pulse of adrenaline surged through him as he felt an unseen force close behind. He raced through the twisting hallways, desperately seeking refuge from whatever pursued him. His breath came in ragged gasps as he finally spotted a door at the end of the corridor. With trembling hands, he yanked it open and slammed it shut behind him, locking it with a shaky click. Inside, an oppressive darkness enveloped him, but Alex's flashlight beam cut through it like a lifeline. As his breathing steadied, he turned to survey the room, a sanctuary filled with old photographs of patients who once roamed these halls. One photograph caught his eye. It depicted a young woman whose features mirrored those of the shadowy figure he had seen earlier. A jolt of recognition coursed through him. Before he could process this revelation, scratching sounds erupted from the walls surrounding him. Panic surged anew as something clawed at the barrier between them, a desperate plea for release or revenge. The air vibrated with tension as Alex felt trapped between two worlds, one alive with haunting memories and another filled with present horrors. With sheer determination, Alex pushed open the door and stumbled back into the hallway. He needed answers, and fast. His mind raced with visions of the woman in the photograph. Just then, Jamie appeared from around the corner, another security guard who had been patrolling this forsaken place. "Alex, you look like you've seen a ghost," Jamie said, concern etched on their face. "I think I might have," Alex replied breathlessly. He quickly recounted what he discovered: the journal, the whispers, and the uncanny resemblance between the photograph and the shadow. Jamie's expression shifted from concern to curiosity as they exchanged tales about their own unsettling experiences within these walls. Together, they decided to delve deeper into the asylum's secrets. They navigated through darkened corridors until they found an unmarked door hidden behind rotting furniture. With some effort, they pried it open to reveal a room filled with unsettling artifacts, rusted medical instruments, and faded documents detailing grotesque experiments conducted on innocent lives. As they rifled through their findings, scratching sounds echoed once more, from inside the walls this time, growing louder and more frantic. Suddenly, without warning, something lunged at them from the darkness, a dark silhouette that sent both guards tumbling backward in terror. The lights flickered violently before plunging them into complete darkness. Heart pounding in sync with their rising panic, Alex fumbled for his flashlight, but found only cold air where it had been moments before. They were engulfed in silence now, an oppressive quiet that felt alive and watchful. Alone in darkness and chaos, Alex's mind spiraled into overdrive as he fought against rising panic. He relied on instinct and memory to navigate toward what was left of their shared path. The flashlight flickered weakly back to life just as memories surged within him, the faces of tormented patients flickering like candle flames in his mind. Hallucinations danced before his eyes. Twisted forms of patients pleading for help or screaming in agony flashed briefly in flashes of light and shadow. It was disorienting yet mesmerizing. Each vision pulled him deeper into their tragic stories as if they were reaching out from beyond. Desperate for clarity amidst confusion, Alex stumbled upon a hidden basement entrance concealed beneath layers of debris. The air grew colder as he descended into its depths. A chilling premonition settled over him like ice water coursing through his veins. In that dimly lit basement lay remnants of an ancient ritual designed to bind something dark, a malevolent spirit fueled by anguish and despair trapped within these walls for eternity. His heart raced as realization dawned. This wasn't just any spirit. It was tied to those forgotten souls who suffered horrific fates at the hands of cruel practitioners. Just then, he felt it. The unmistakable sensation of fingers brushing against his ankle as if beckoning him further into shadowy oblivion. Terror gripped him tightly as he realized he was not alone. Whatever lay within this cursed place was awakening, and it wanted something from him. The chapter closed with Alex's scream echoing through the basement walls, a desperate cry for help swallowed by darkness as night fully embraced Willow Creek Asylum once more. The air in the basement grew thicker as Alex struggled to comprehend the horrors unfolding around him. The flickering light from his flashlight danced against the walls, illuminating grotesque symbols etched into the stone, a language lost to time, whispering of ancient rituals designed to bind spirits within the asylum's confines. Each heartbeat echoed like a drum, a reminder that time was slipping away and with it, his chances of escape. As he backed away from the encroaching darkness, a sudden realization struck him. The whispers he had heard throughout the night were not merely echoes of despair, they were a call to arms. The souls trapped within these walls sought liberation, and Alex was unwittingly entwined in their tragic fate. The entity lurking in the shadows was no longer just a malevolent presence. It was a manifestation of their collective anguish, fueled by years of torment. With renewed determination, Alex focused on the symbols lining the walls, piecing together fragments of their meaning. It dawned on him that he might be able to reverse the ritual, if he could harness the energy of those trapped souls and channel it against the dark force binding them. He needed to confront the entity head-on, not as a victim but as a vessel for their vengeance. Summoning every ounce of courage he possessed, Alex began to chant softly, mirroring the rhythm of his racing heart. As he spoke the words inscribed on the walls, a low rumble reverberated through the basement, shaking loose dust and debris. The shadows coalesced into a swirling mass before him, forming into a figure, a reflection of the woman from the photograph. Her eyes were filled with both sorrow and fury. "Help us," she whispered, her voice weaving through Alex's mind like silk. "Free us from this torment." In that moment, Alex understood that he was not alone. Every soul imprisoned within these walls lent him strength. He felt their anguish rise within him, intertwining with his own fear until it became an overwhelming force. He directed that energy toward the dark entity lurking at the edges of his vision. The basement erupted in chaos as light clashed against darkness. Alex's voice grew louder, more insistent, breaking through layers of despair until it reached a fever pitch. Shadows writhed and shrieked in protest as he poured everything he had into freeing those souls bound by pain. The figure of the woman stepped closer, her hand extending toward him. "Together," she urged. "We are stronger together." With one final surge of willpower, Alex grasped her hand and felt an electric current pulse between them, a connection forged through shared suffering and resilience. The darkness recoiled as their combined strength pressed against it like a tidal wave crashing down upon a crumbling shore. Suddenly, there was silence, an eerie stillness that enveloped him as if time itself had paused. The oppressive weight of despair lifted momentarily, replaced by an ethereal glow that illuminated the basement like dawn breaking over a long-forgotten land. Faces materialized around him, those who had suffered and died within these walls, each one filled with gratitude and peace. "Thank you," they murmured in unison before dissipating into beams of light that ascended toward freedom. But as hope surged within him, so too did fear return with a vengeance. From within that fading darkness came an agonizing roar, a desperate cry from an entity now realizing its hold was slipping away. Shadows clawed at Alex's ankles as if trying to drag him back into oblivion. "No!" he shouted defiantly, forcing himself to stand tall against it all. With one last chant echoing through his mind like an incantation woven by fate itself, he thrust forward his remaining strength. Light erupted from within him, a blinding beacon cutting through shadow until it enveloped everything in its embrace. The dark force screeched in fury before shattering like glass under pressure. When Alex awoke moments later, he found himself sprawled on the cold floor of room 217. The oppressive atmosphere lifted entirely. Sunlight streamed through broken windows, illuminating dust motes dancing lazily in its warmth. He sat up slowly, heart racing yet strangely calm. The voices had faded. No longer did they call out in despair, but instead whispered promises of peace, a reassurance that their torment had ended at last. But even as relief washed over him, unease lingered in his chest. He understood that while some souls had found solace today, others remained unaccounted for, trapped in limbo between worlds yet untouched by daylight. As he stood up to leave Willow Creek Asylum behind forever, Alex couldn't shake the feeling that shadows still lurked within its crumbling walls, watching and waiting for their chance once more. The echoes of his experience would haunt him long after this nightmarish shift came to an end. Yet somewhere deep down lay hope, the knowledge that perhaps one day he could return not as a guard, but as someone destined to help those still lost in darkness find their way home once again. And so began a new chapter, not just for Alex, but for all whose lives intertwined with Willow Creek Asylum, for every ending held within it seeds for new beginnings. If only one dared to listen closely enough amidst echoes of silence now transformed into whispers of freedom. As Alex stepped out of room 217, the sunlight poured in, illuminating the dust-laden air and casting long shadows across the asylum's decaying floors. The oppressive atmosphere had lifted, but an unsettling feeling nestled deep within him, a sense of unfinished business. Though he had freed many souls trapped within the asylum, he could not shake the notion that not all was resolved. Determined to understand the lingering darkness, Alex made his way through the dimly lit corridors, each step echoing against crumbling walls. Memories of his harrowing night flooded back, igniting a relentless curiosity within him. He needed answers. Why had he been drawn to this forsaken place? What other secrets did Willow Creek hold? He returned to the basement, a place now bathed in daylight but still echoing with whispers from the past. As he descended the stairs again, he felt an electric charge in the air, a reminder of the entity he had confronted. The symbols carved into the stone walls seemed to shimmer with renewed energy, almost as if they were alive and breathing. In one corner of the room lay remnants of the dark ritual, candles melted down to stubs and fragments of bone scattered like forgotten offerings. Alex knelt beside them, tracing his fingers along the jagged edges of a ritualistic dagger that glinted ominously in the light. It pulsed with an energy that both repulsed and fascinated him. Suddenly, a sound broke through his concentration. A soft sobbing echoed from somewhere deeper within the basement's recesses. Heart racing anew, Alex followed the sound, pushing aside shadows that clung to him like cobwebs. As he ventured further into the darkness, he stumbled upon a small alcove shrouded in gloom. There, huddled against the wall, was a figure, a young girl with tear-streaked cheeks and wide, frightened eyes. Her presence sent a jolt through him. She looked almost ethereal, as if she belonged to another time. "Help me," she whispered, her voice barely rising above a breath. "Who are you?" Alex asked softly, kneeling before her. "What happened?" "I'm Lily," she replied, her voice trembling like fragile glass. "I was here, before everything changed. They took me when I was lost. When they—" She faltered as memories washed over her like waves crashing on a shore. "What do you mean?" Alex pressed gently. "Who took you?" "The doctors," she said, her gaze distant as if peering into another realm. "They wanted to fix what was broken inside me, but they only made it worse." Her eyes filled with unshed tears as she recounted her tale, a haunting story of experiments conducted on innocent children who wandered into Willow Creek seeking refuge. Alex felt his heart ache for her. This was yet another story woven into the fabric of despair that permeated these walls. "Lily," he began cautiously, "I freed many souls tonight. I can help you too." The flicker of hope ignited in her eyes momentarily before dimming once more. "It's not just me," she whispered urgently. "There are others, trapped in here with me." Realization hit him like a cold wave. While he had confronted one dark force, many more remained, lost children echoing through time, their cries silenced by fear and pain. "Where are they?" he asked urgently. "Follow me," Lily urged as she rose to her feet, gracefully yet hesitantly like a ghost tethered between worlds. She led him deeper into the basement, where shadows pooled thickly like ink spilling from a broken bottle. The air grew colder still as they entered another chamber, A space dominated by iron bars and rusted chains hanging loosely from walls stained by years of anguish. It resembled a prison cell more than anything else. Despair hung heavily around it like fog rolling off a lake at dawn. Lily moved closer to one of the bars, reaching through with trembling fingers as though sensing something beyond it. The faint echoes of laughter turned to screams reverberated off cold stone surfaces. "They're scared," she murmured sadly. "They need someone brave enough to set them free." A surge of determination coursed through Alex's veins. This was no longer just about survival. It was about redemption for those lost souls yearning for release. He approached the barred enclosure cautiously and peered inside. What greeted him were not just shadows or faint outlines. They were children, pale faces staring back at him with hollow eyes filled with longing and despair. He recognized some, faces from old photographs scattered throughout the asylum, ghosts woven into tales long forgotten. "Please," one child spoke up, a boy with dirt-smudged cheeks and hair tousled like wild grass. "Help us. We don't belong here." With each plea striking chords deep within him, Alex felt his resolve strengthen tenfold. This was his purpose now, to liberate these lost souls who had suffered unimaginable torment at hands crueler than fate itself. He turned back toward Lily as realization dawned. They needed to break the chains binding them, not merely physical restraints but metaphysical ones forged through trauma and despair. "Lily," he said firmly, "we have to gather their strength together. You know how to channel what we felt before, the energy we created." Her eyes widened slightly at first before recognition dawned upon her features like sunlight breaking through clouds heavy with rain. "Yes, we can do this," she exclaimed with newfound vigor. With urgency fueling their actions, Alex and Lily began chanting ancient words that resonated throughout the chamber, the echoes intertwining harmoniously until they formed an unbreakable bond between them and those imprisoned behind iron bars. As they spoke together in unity, words laced with hope, the air vibrated around them as if responding directly to their intentions. Chains rattled violently against stone surfaces before snapping apart one by one until nothing remained but empty spaces once filled by anguish. The children gasped collectively when light broke through their confinement, a radiant glow washing over them like warm sunlight after years spent shrouded in darkness. One by one, they stepped forward, fingers intertwined with one another's, as they emerged from captivity into freedom's embrace. Alex watched in awe as each child transformed from mere shadows into vibrant beings filled with laughter and joy, spirits reborn under new skies where nightmares no longer held dominion over their existence. But even amidst celebration grew unease. Something dark still lingered within those walls, an entity angered by its loss of power, now seeking vengeance against those who dared defy it. Just then, thunderous footsteps resonated throughout Willow Creek Asylum, the very foundations trembling beneath its weight as fury manifested itself in shadows coiling around pillars like serpents poised for attack. "No!" Alex shouted defiantly as dread threatened to engulf him once more. He couldn't allow fear to dictate this moment any longer, not when so many lives depended on courage prevailing against despair. "We must face it together." Lily cried out bravely alongside him, her spirit shining brightly even amidst encroaching darkness threatening their newfound freedom. As if sensing their resolve solidifying like steel forged under fire, the entity roared forth from its hiding place, a swirling mass of malevolence taking shape just beyond reach, a grotesque visage twisted by rage-echoing nightmares long buried beneath layers of suffering inflicted upon innocent souls over decades past. Together hand in hand with newfound friends liberated from shackles binding them, they stood united against this force born from despair. Determination burned bright within each heart gathered around Alex and Lily ready for battle against whatever horrors awaited them next. The basement trembled beneath them as shadows writhed and slithered closer, drawing nearer until they formed a menacing shape towering over Alex and Lily like a storm cloud poised for destruction. Each child behind them clung tightly together, their trust in one another forging an unbreakable bond even when faced with insurmountable odds. "Stay strong!" Alex shouted over roaring winds swirling chaotically around them. Fear no longer gripped him, but rather fueled an unwavering resolve deep within every fiber of his being, urging him onward despite looming threats ahead. Together they chanted louder now, their voices merging into one harmonious chorus rising above chaos surrounding them. A powerful anthem meant not only for themselves, but also for every soul ever trapped within these cursed walls crying out for salvation long since overdue. As light radiated from their hearts intertwining effortlessly, it pushed back against darkness inch by inch, illuminating corners once shrouded in despair until finally revealing an unexpected truth hidden deep within shadows themselves. Every scream echoed here belonged not solely to victims left behind, but also reflected pain endured by those who inflicted it. The tormentors cloaked beneath layers upon layers, forged from guilt buried deep within time's grasp, unable to escape consequences wrought upon innocent lives lost forevermore. Empowered by understanding found only through shared experiences, they pressed forward, facing that entity head-on, unwaveringly determined, never backing down despite odds stacked against them growing greater, still threatening imminent annihilation, looming overhead, casting long shadows across fragile hopes, flickering brightly amid despair, threatening extinction at every turn. As they chanted together once more, words laced with courage and unity, the shadows began to writhe violently. The entity howled in rage, as if struggling against an invisible force, trying to contain it within its own malevolence. Lily stepped forward beside Alex, her presence radiating warmth and strength. "Together," she whispered fiercely, "let's show it what we're made of." With her encouragement fueling his spirit, Alex took a deep breath and focused on the glowing light within him, the same light that had united them all moments before. He envisioned it expanding outward, enveloping everyone present until they became one cohesive unit radiating pure energy. "On three," he shouted to rally them all together. 1, 2, 3. They unleashed their collective power in an explosive burst. A wave of light surged forth from their hearts like a tidal wave crashing against shorelines long neglected by hope. The shadows recoiled violently as if burned by sunlight after years spent lurking in darkness. In that moment of clarity amidst chaos, everything shifted dramatically. The entity screeched angrily as fissures erupted across its form like cracks splitting through ice under pressure. Its features warped grotesquely while it struggled against forces intent on dismantling everything it represented. But Alex pushed forward undeterred, his voice rising above all else until it became indistinguishable from laughter echoing through valleys carved by anguish over decades past. "You will not take us again. We are free." As those words rang true, a brilliant flash engulfed them all. The very fabric of reality seemed to ripple like water disturbed by stones thrown into stillness. Pulsing waves resonated outward until they collided with darkness head-on, igniting bursts of brilliance illuminating everything around them. The shadows shrieked one last time, a sound filled with agony as light consumed them entirely, leaving nothing but silence behind, echoing throughout Willow Creek Asylum, now transformed forevermore. When the blinding light finally subsided and clarity returned, the group found themselves standing amidst ruins transformed anew. Remnants of despair replaced by warmth radiating from every corner where shadows once danced menacingly now basked under gentle sunlight streaming through broken windows. Alex blinked against sudden brightness flooding his senses. Colors came alive, surrounding him, vibrant hues, painting pictures, once hidden beneath layers upon layers, obscured by fear's grasp over time itself. A gentle breeze caressed his skin like whispers carried softly upon wind's beckoning change. "Is it over?" Lily asked breathlessly as she looked around wide-eyed, taking in this miraculous transformation. The air heavy with promise rather than foreboding dread, lingering long after darkness fled before dawn's embrace, settling comfortably across what remained of Willow Creek Asylum, now reborn anew. "Yes," Alex replied firmly, grinning ear to ear, feeling lighter than air, buoyed by triumph shared among friends forged together through trials faced bravely side by side. "We did it!" The children erupted into cheers, laughter cascading like music filling voids left behind after sorrowful echoes faded away, finally setting free spirits once shackled unable find solace until now. They embraced one another, warmth radiating stronger than any chains ever could, binding them together, eternally united by strength found through adversity faced head-on. But amidst celebration lingered questions still unanswered. A flicker of uncertainty sparked curiosity, igniting flames within minds eager explore depths previously untapped, yearning discover truths hidden, carefully guarded behind veil-spun, tightly woven stories left untold throughout history. "What happens now?" one child asked shyly, eyes glistening with wonderment, searching for answers amidst newfound freedom where possibilities stretched endlessly before them, waiting patiently expectant for exploration promised ahead. Alex pondered for a moment before responding, thoughtfully gazing across faces filled hope, mingled apprehension, yearning, find purpose moving forward. Now? Now we live, we learn, and we help others find their way back too. Lily smiled brightly beside him, nodding vigorously, adding enthusiastically, "Yes. We can tell our stories, help others understand what happened here, so no one else has to suffer alone again." Excitement buzzed through group. Ideas blossomed rapidly, fueling discussions, animatedly sharing dreams, visions, weaving futures brightened by lessons learned during darkest nights spent wandering, aimlessly searching, solace denied, until finally liberated together, emerging triumphant from shadows cast long ago. United in mission, They began exploring every nook cranny nestled within walls surrounding them, uncovering remnants past, intertwined, intricately revealing tales needing told, no longer hidden beneath dust accumulated over years spent, forgotten, fading memory lost forevermore. With each discovery made, they unearthed fragments, long-buried memories, clinging tightly, refusing fade away unnoticed. Stories unfolded slowly, weaving rich tapestries, showcasing lives lived despite struggles faced, forging connections, bridging gaps once separating, souls lost, wandering aimlessly, seeking refuge, finding solace instead among kindred spirits, welcoming all without prejudice, understanding hardships endured along paths traveled thus far, leading towards brighter tomorrows filled boundless possibilities, awaiting eager hands ready embrace adventures yet unfold. As days turned into weeks, the sanctuary established within Willow Creek Asylum flourished, becoming safe haven where children once lost could gather, share experiences, freely unburden themselves, weight carried alone far too long, finally finding release among friends willing listen, support, healing wounds inflicted over years endured silently. Alex took on role guiding youth, encouraging creativity, fostering imagination, inspiring growth, nurturing seeds planted deep within hearts eager bloom, unfurl wings, soar skies wide open, inviting exploration beyond walls, enclosing them, previously suffocating, limiting potential, stifled under shadows left lingering far too long, haunting corridors once filled terror, now transformed serenity, bringing peace, newfound purpose, fulfilling destinies written ages past, awaiting recognition, finally uncovered. Amid whispers carried softly upon winds, beckoning change forevermore. And so began new chapter, not only for those freed, but also for entire communities surrounding Willow Creek Asylum. A place reborn, filled laughter, joy, life, flourishing, hope, blossoming effortlessly, intertwining lives together, creating bonds stronger than any chain could ever bind, anchoring souls, securely grounded, roots firmly planted, nurturing growth, flourishing abundantly despite adversities faced along way, reminding everyone never forget lessons learned, embracing light, shining brightly, guiding paths ahead, illuminating futures, promising endless possibilities, awaiting discovery, unlocking doors, leading further journeys undertaken beyond horizons unexplored. With each passing day, the echoes faded further into memory, replaced instead harmonious melodies sung sweetly, resonating hearts beating rhythmically alongside dreams, woven intricately, threading together lives intertwined, forevermore boundless potential unleashed, soaring endlessly toward skies painted vibrant hues, colors dancing joyfully, illuminating landscapes traversed, courageously daring venture forth, boldly seeking adventure, awaiting just beyond reach, often hidden beneath layers obscured. Yearning reveal treasures untold, awaiting discovery, yearning embrace warmth offered freely, extending love, compassion, understanding, reaching out, arms wide open, inviting all join together, celebrating triumphs, victories, small large alike, transforming lives, forevermore shaping futures, brightened embrace hope, beckoning onward, journey begun anew. And so continued, legacy forged among those gathered at Willow Creek. As stories unfolded, journeys began intertwining, beautifully weaving rich tapestry, illustrating resilience, beauty found amidst struggles faced, uplifting spirits, touching hearts, reminding everyone always remember, never walk alone. As the weeks turned into months, the sanctuary within Willow Creek Asylum became a beacon of hope for many. Children who once wandered lost in despair found solace and community among each other, their laughter echoing through the halls that had been silent for far too long. Alex took on the role of a mentor and protector, guiding them through their healing journeys, encouraging creativity, and fostering resilience. Yet as the seasons changed, a lingering unease settled over the asylum like an unwelcome fog. Alex could feel it in his bones, a sense that the darkness they had vanquished was not entirely gone. Whispers of unease began to ripple through the group. Some children reported fleeting shadows at the corners of their vision and cold drafts sweeping through rooms that had once felt warm. One evening, as twilight cast long shadows across the asylum grounds, Alex gathered the children in the main hall for a storytelling session, a time-honored tradition meant to foster connection and understanding. They sat in a circle, their faces illuminated by flickering candlelight. Lily, now more confident and radiant than ever, took her place beside him. "Tonight," Alex began, "I want us to share our stories, the ones that shaped us, that made us who we are today." He glanced around at the eager faces surrounding him. "We've all faced darkness in one form or another, but together we can illuminate even the deepest shadows." One by one, the children shared their tales, stories of heartache, loss, fear, and ultimately triumph. Laughter erupted as they recounted moments of joy amidst sorrow, bonding them closer with each word spoken. But as each child spoke their truth, Alex noticed an unsettling shift in the air, a chill creeping through the room that made his skin prickle. When it was Lily's turn to share, she stood up with a glint of determination in her eyes. "I want to tell you about the night I met Alex," she said, her voice steady. "When I thought I was alone and lost forever, he showed me that there is always hope. Her words resonated deeply within everyone present. But just as she finished speaking, a loud crash echoed from the hallway outside, a sound so jarring it sent shivers down Alex's spine. The room fell silent. All eyes turned toward the door as dread pooled in their stomachs. "What was that?" one child whispered nervously. "I don't know," Alex replied slowly, his heart racing as he stood up cautiously. "Stay here, I'll check it out." Lily grasped his hand tightly. "I'm coming with you," she insisted. Together they ventured into the dimly lit corridor where shadows danced along the walls like specters taunting them to retreat. The air felt thick with tension as they approached the source of the noise. Room 217, the very room where everything had begun. As they reached for the door handle, another crash erupted from within, a sound like furniture being overturned, followed by a low growl that reverberated through the air. They exchanged worried glances before Alex pushed open the door. What awaited them inside was nothing short of horrifying. The room was in disarray, broken chairs littered across the floor and papers scattered like fallen leaves caught in a storm. In the center stood a figure cloaked in darkness, a familiar silhouette twisted by rage and resentment. "No," Alex breathed, recognizing it instantly. The malevolent entity they had thought vanquished now returned with a vengeance. "It cannot be," Lily gasped beside him. "We defeated it." But this new manifestation seemed stronger than before. Its form flickered like a dying flame, yet pulsed with an energy born from anger and pain, an amalgamation of every soul wronged within these walls seeking retribution against those who dared defy it once more. "You thought you could cast me away," it hissed through clenched teeth, its voice dripping with malice as it loomed closer, dark tendrils stretching toward them like claws reaching for prey. "You have only awakened my true power." With every ounce of courage surging through him, Alex stepped forward, defiantly placing himself between Lily and that which threatened everything they had built together since reclaiming this space from despair's grip. "Leave us," he shouted fiercely. "You have no hold over us anymore." The entity laughed mockingly, a sound filled with bitterness that echoed painfully throughout room 217. "Foolish boy. You think your light can extinguish my darkness? I thrive on your fears. I am born from your pain." Lily gripped Alex's arm tightly, her heart racing alongside his as uncertainty flooded her senses. But he felt an unwavering strength coursing through him, fueled by love for every child gathered behind them, awaiting guidance amidst chaos threatening to unravel everything they fought so hard to rebuild. "We've faced you before," Alex stated firmly, not backing down despite fear gnawing at his resolve like ravenous wolves hunting prey under moonlight. "And we will face you again. Together." With those words echoing throughout darkness surrounding them, Alex turned back toward Lily, determination igniting something deep within both their hearts, transcending boundaries forged by past suffering. "Lily, let's channel our strength together," he urged urgently. Memories flooding back from battles fought united against overwhelming odds, filling him with hope renewed. "Yes," she exclaimed, her voice ringing clear like chimes carried upon winds, beckoning change, promising brighter tomorrows ahead, illuminating paths, yet untraveled, waiting discovery. As they joined hands, energy surged around them, igniting flames flickering brightly against encroaching shadows, threatening to consume all light left within room 217. Children watching from behind felt warmth radiate outward, enveloping them in protective cocoons, shielding innocent lives, awaiting salvation restored. In unison, they began chanting once more, invoking ancient words etched upon walls layered, thickened by time long forgotten, whispering secrets, yearning reclaim power stolen long ago. Each syllable resonated through air, vibrating with intention, weaving threads, connecting souls bound together, forging bonds unbreakable, standing resilient against adversities faced, drawing strength from one another, rising above darkness, engulfing them, threatening swallow whole. Light erupted forth, illuminating every corner once shrouded, obscured, casting away doubt lingering beneath surface, flickering flames, burning bright, illuminating paths, leading toward liberation promised, awaiting beyond reach, beckoning steadfast hearts, willing venture forth, boldly reclaiming lives, once lost, wandering, aimlessly searching refuge, finding solace, instead among kindred spirits, gathered united, seeking healing, forging new destinies. Shared together. The entity screeched violently, a sound filled with rage and desperation as waves of light crashed against its form, tearing apart layers accumulated over lifetimes spent feeding on suffering endured since time immemorial. Shadows recoiled, thrashing wildly, fighting against inevitable collapse, crumbling under weight. Pure love shared among those gathered, standing resolute, unwavering, united, determined, never allow fear dictate choices made, moving forward, building bridges, forging connections, strengthening bonds nurtured amidst trials, faced together over time, transforming lives, forevermore reshaping futures, brightened, embracing hope, beckoning onward, journey begun anew. As laughter-filled hallways previously haunted silence transformed into melodies woven harmoniously, resonating hearts beating rhythmically alongside dreams woven intricately, threading together lives intertwined forevermore, boundless potential unleashed, soaring endlessly toward skies painted vibrant hues, colors dancing joyfully, illuminating landscapes traversed, courageously daring venture forth, boldly seeking adventure awaiting just beyond reach, often hidden beneath layers obscured, yearning reveal treasures untold, awaiting discovery, yearning embrace warmth offered freely, extending love, compassion, understanding, reaching out, arms wide open, inviting all joined together, celebrating triumphs, victories, small large alike, transforming lives forevermore, shaping futures brightened, embrace hope, beckoning onward, journey begun anew. And so continued, legacy forged among those gathered at Willow Creek. As stories unfolded, journeys began intertwining, beautifully weaving rich tapestry, illustrating resilience, beauty found amidst struggles faced, uplifting spirits, touching hearts, reminding everyone always remember, never walk alone. As the sun set over Willow Creek Asylum, casting a warm golden hue across its once shadowed halls, Alex and the children stood united, their laughter echoing through the spaces that had long been filled with silence and sorrow. They had transformed the asylum into a sanctuary of hope and healing, a testament to resilience forged in the fires of adversity. Together, they vowed to share their stories, ensuring that the echoes of their past would serve as beacons for others lost in darkness. With each passing day, they embraced their newfound freedom, channeling their experiences into strength and compassion for those still searching for solace. In doing so, they not only reclaimed their lives but also illuminated a path for others, proving that even the deepest shadows can be vanquished by the enduring light of unity and love.